The number one thing people ask me is, are people capable of change? Change always seems to be very difficult to the point where people become afraid of it. Why are so many people afraid of change? In this video, we're going to discuss the idea of whether or not people are truly capable of change. Hi everybody, today's video is sponsored to you by purebulk.com. Pure Bulk offers a variety of over 250 of the purest, simplest, and unaltered nutritional powders, oils, and capsules. You can be sure that their products are free from any additive flavors, anti-caking agents, and additives. And everything is tested by well-established third-party laboratories. If you're interested in taking your supplement game to the next level, please check out purebulk.com and use our affiliate link below to receive 10% off your next order. Hi everybody, I'm Miss Raina. Today we're going to talk about if people are capable of change. First, let's talk about what change is. In the simplest terms, it is having the awareness for one to willfully make choices that alter the current path that they're on. It is having the realization from the lack of choices that we have not made in our life, causing us great amounts of pain and suffering, to finally push forward to healing and greater perception. Change is important for our evolutionary growth. It is essential for us for our understanding of who we are and why we're here, that allows us to develop empathy and insight to what we are experiencing. So are people really capable of change? Well, this is a tricky question because it's without a definitive answer. The reason why this is so difficult is because there's not a one-size-fits-all answer that applies to every human being. Every person is unique with their own set of limitations and personal growth processes. So it really depends on what we're asking that needs changing. The level of change one wants to see is dependent on the level of work that is needed to resolve a specific issue. The trick here is to understand the part of what actually needs to be worked on. Now we're going to have to ask ourselves, what is our idea of change? When people say, I want to change, or we expect others to change, what are we really asking for? What is the main goal? What is the end result that we're looking for? This is very important for us to understand, because if we are to change, then we have to know what it is we're looking at. The true definition of change means to evolve. And if we are to evolve, then we must be willing to adapt to different ideas and situations that are presented to us throughout our life. One of the most important choices for our advancement is to make sure that we are doing it for our own well-being and to make sure that we really want the change. If we don't, then we will set ourselves up to be in this repetitive cycle of chaos. This sounds so simple, but it is one of the most difficult to understand because of our unwillingness to recognize that we don't want the change at hand. I've helped many people in many areas, but at the same time, I noticed that certain patterns people had never changed. So, do I base my idea of can people change on if they've had a total transformation? Or do I focus on what they were capable of changing? The truth be told is it's not my job to turn everybody into enlightened beings in one lifetime. In fact, that's not possible. The true form of helping someone to change is being able to allow the person to work through the challenges that they're capable of changing based on their evolutionary advancement. If you see people developing to a certain point, but then there's a stoppage of growth, we must recognize one's limited consciousness is at hand. I think this is a very important concept for us to comprehend because we associate change with thinking that all of us should achieve a point of perfection, unshakable happiness, and enlightened beings. But truthfully, this can put a lot of pressure on us as individuals, and we lose the meaning of growth. In order for us to evolve, we must have the ability for us to grow and then transform the lessons that we've learned at this time. First of all, we're going to have to ask ourselves, if we're saying that we're doing all this changing, how do we measure our progress? Maybe we have a misunderstanding of the expectations of how we're able to evolve. That's why we find it so difficult. Maybe the reason why we can't grow is because we just don't actually understand the end result. Since we don't know what this is or what it would look like, it makes it very difficult for us to achieve our goal. It's similar to the idea of love and happiness, balance and positivity, where we hear these words, but at the same time, we don't actually understand them. Let's take people who want to help transform the world, but get so frustrated at everybody as an example. The first idea that we have to evolve past is the idea that people suck. And I hear this on a daily basis. I hate people. People suck. I don't want to have anything to do with them. We have such a horrific view of not only ourselves, but everyone around us. For us to have this idea of hate is a very narrow perception of life. We believe in order for us to change, that the whole world has to change first. And unfortunately, it doesn't work like this. Well, if the world was nicer, then I'd be nicer. If people were nicer to me, well, then I'd be nicer to them. But the truth of the matter is, you have to be the one who changes first and be the example for others. We have to evolve past the idea of separation and more into a life of unity. So you're still asking, Miss Raina, are people really capable of change? Well, yes and no. I think the biggest thing that we have to remember is that separation keeps us apart from experiencing growth on a personal level and a much more grand scale. If we hold the idea to change that means that everybody has to be happy and lying perfect beings, then we're always going to be let down because that idea is unachievable. In fact, that's an impossible task. No one changes and becomes enlightened overnight, and we must remember to become aware of our own limitations on changes as well as with others, and to be compassionate to those changes one is unable to make. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I really hope you enjoyed it. As always, don't forget to follow and like us, and feel free to leave a comment below. If you have a topic that you'd love to hear about in regards to spirituality or alternative healing, please email me. The link will be in the description. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day.